Buffs lose out on a defensive line coach to Miami, but move quickly. And I got to tell you, I like this hire a lot. I like this hire a lot, and we're going to talk all about it. So let's roll the intro and This show is, of course, brought to you by BetUS, and there's a reason why I used this photo here, because when you see this photo, if you watched, 5 seconds of NFL football, you recognize the flow immediately, and this is the flow of now new defensive line coach Pico, I believe, who played 14 years in the NFL, has a ton of experience with over 194 starts, serves as a nose tackle. And then he was also a defensive line assistant under Mike Zimmer, who we know is the mentor or is a mentor for Coach Prime and kind of guided him through this season, and was an assistant under Mike Zimmer at Dallas this season. So I like this hire a lot. I think it kind of went under the radar, but another NFL experienced guy to go alongside Warren Sapp and, of course, just the rest of the room. He worked alongside Robert Livingston as well for 5 years, so is very comfortable in that defense. I mean, this to me is one of those hires that, look, defensive line coaches aren't really sexy. Follow SEC football, they probably get a little more flash to them. Over in the Big 12, might get lost in the sauce. But somebody like this, in my opinion, is could be a big time SEC hire, and somebody that I think could really flourish into something that's going to be a big target maybe in the following year, because I think what he's going to be able to do for this defensive line, a very loved guy across all where he's been, just kind of has a tick about him to play 14 years in the NFL. Is that right? It's 14 years in the NFL? Yeah, 14 seasons is absolutely insane as a nose tackle to be effective for over 14 years. So to be able to have something like that in your locker room, I'm telling you, man, we know how the trench work and how important it is, and the impact that it's going to make. I've said this from the beginning. Coach Prime has no issues getting skilled players. Those guys on the outsides, phenomenal. Cornerback, wide receiver, exceptional. Cornerbacks can only do so much. They can't block all day. They can't cover all day long, right? You got to get some trench work that can get to the quarterback to allow for your talented cornerbacks to make plays. I'm telling you right now, this is what's going to be the difference, in my opinion, for this Colorado team. I'm hoping the offensive line, obviously they got a new hire there, has that same kind of uprising, especially with that quarterback situation, whether it's you got a new guy you're having two new faces come into that, but I want to see that running back room, especially with Marshall Faulk back there now. I mean, when you start talking about the names that are in this program, the coaches that he is building right now, it is a very serious program that has to be watched out for. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of people talking about it. After the spring game, I think it's going to be a ton of buzz once they're able to see. Speaking of spring games, I want to know your thoughts on a couple of these teams canceling. Texas and Lincoln Riley have both came out. I think Matt Rule as well all three come out have canceled their spring games due to possible tamperings situations. So listen, there's no way. I don't believe Coach Prime in Colorado do that. I think the success they have had in the past 2 years, it's been beneficial for them to continue it. I know I've digressed a little bit, but that was my thought process. I'm really excited to see now with the changes at these coaching positions on how that translates this quickly, right? Going into April. So love this hire a lot. I think the fans are very excited about it as well. He also has a top 100 recruit in California, his son Joseph, that is a 2026 defensive lineman, 6'3", 310 pounds. So could we see an automatic lock there? I don't know. That's something definitely to keep an eye on as time will tell. But this hire, I think, could be one of the most impactful hires. Again, Warren Sapp, Marshall Faulk. I mean, this is one hell of a coaching staff. Just the amount of knowledge, the amount of experience. How could you not want to taste of that? How could you just? Coach Prime has been adamant about, I'm not going to somebody's houses and sitting down having a conversation with you, but you can come talk to me. I would want to go and have a conversation. I would want to be associated. I would want to go and I pick their brains for the 5 minutes that I could. You are installing an organic recruiting cycle with this. I love it. I love it through and through. Great move by the Buffs here. I don't feel like it was talked about enough. I know it happened a few days ago, a little late on the ball, but better late than ever. Great hire here. And speaking of just great things, shout out to our sponsors, BetUS. Been riding with us all season long. Be sure to check out BetUS. Use the code YouTube150 to get back 150% on your first deposit, then 125 on your next two, up to $2,000. They powered us all season long. Cannot be more thankful for them as we rock and roll. Look at it. Just listen to the talent he's bringing in, right? Or and inheriting, if you will. Mario McNeil, Anquin Barnes, Ring Carter, uh, Alexander McPherson, my boy, psychopath lettuce, Lightfoot, Coleman, Hudson, Jaheim Otis. Jaheim Otis was a transfer from Alabama. A lot of big time studs, a lot of up and coming talent. I am beyond ecstatic to see how this translates, and we'll start to get some clicks, start watching well off media to just kind of get a feel and a pulse. But right now they're kind of just doing workouts, so coaching isn't necessarily, their coaches aren't really hands on yet. But we'll get into that, I think, in the next 2 weeks. I think the coaches will hit the ground running. So it's crazy. It's like football's almost here, but it's not, but it is, because we get that spring game, so we get a little bit of a taste of it. So I'm excited about it. We'll be keeping an eye on it. You know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love, baby.